Glory be to God, Mighty God Ministry, episode 8 on health and wellness. This is going to be dessert, so obviously this isn't going to be as healthy, but there's ways to make it healthy. But I'm going to show you the things that I really enjoy. You can cut out what you don't like to make it healthier. So I love these dessert shells. And again, they're 60 calories a piece, which is nothing. So like I had 1,600 calories, so I could eat them. I could eat this whole tray and everything else, and I've done that before, and that's fine. You do have to watch out the sugars though, because these are 8 grams of sugar a piece. So your sugar is going to go through the roof. So if you're watching that, you might want to cut these out. And there's a time I did that. And one of the things I use with them is yogurt, which is awesome because one of the things with the yogurt is you're going to get a lot of protein. I use the zero fat because, again, I couldn't eat fat at the time. But you could use whatever type of yogurt you want. But I also like this yogurt because if you do a 3/4 cup of it, you're getting 18 grams of protein. So let's say you needed more protein that day. This right here in your dessert, this is going to cover you. You got 18 grams and all the other good stuff. So I'm going to show you what I do. And I'm going to show you the variations because there's a couple of different variations you could make. And again, this is nothing crazy. This is going back to like when you were a little kid. It's essentially like when you were a little kid. That's the great thing about it. So when you're a little kid, you might make strawberry shortcakes is what they used to call them. But you can make anything you want to do the variation. So what I do is, again, anything in moderation is fine. My calorie count is low today because I didn't have breakfast. So I could eat all this and be fine. But essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to take each one of the shells out. If you were doing this normally, you might only want to eat one of the shells and do, or maybe 2 shells. But I'm going to show you the variations here. And again, it's all what your calories add up to, what numbers you're trying to hit. And then again, worrying about your sugar content because obviously your sugar is going to go through the roof. So if you don't, if you have issues with sugar, then this is something you might want to cut out. Or again, moderation, only have one. But I'm going to show you right now. We have essentially 6 of these, and again, that's 60 calories. So if we do the math, it's not really going to be too bad. But I'd recommend 2. I'm going to show you this so I can show you the variety. But what I like to do is take the 0% fudge, and that's pretty good. I don't even know if that's how you say it, but I like to take this fudge right here, and then take that, and then essentially you're going to spoon that into your 3/4 cup because that's what it is. You don't have to be this accurate, but again, if you want to count your calories out and make sure you're getting the numbers that you get, you're going to want to be semi-accurate because if you're not measuring, then you might be way off. So again, you want to measure. And if you look here, 3/4 is going to be a decent amount. And if you need more protein that day, you could do, 2 3/4 cups, and it's not a lot. It's 90 calories. So it's really not bad for you. It's good for you. If you're not a big fan of the taste of the zero fat, then go to the other ones. But I will say, if you mix it with other things like with the desserts, and the fruits and stuff that are going to give you that sugar, it actually offsets it. So it tastes pretty good. So I'm going to do a couple here, and I'm going to do, I'm just going to spoon it out there right there. So we're going to put a spoonful of the fudge on that one. I'm going to put a spoonful there. I'm going to put a spoonful here. And if you like more or less, you might eat the whole 3/4 cup and just cover it like a cake, or you might say, hey, I don't want to do that. And you might say, okay, I'm going to use a certain, and I keep all this. So right now, I'm getting that in there. You don't want to go to waste. And then again, if you've seen me, I'm going to clean as I go just to make it easier so I don't have to clean up afterwards. So we're going to do that. Throw that in there. We're done with that. Done and good to go. And then the next thing I'm going to do, now we got our plate right there. And again, this is basic. Anyone could do this because you probably did it when you were a little kid. But again, this is a very healthy snack that's good for you. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our cutting board. Nothing crazy. We're going to take our cutting board, and I'm going to take my blueberries. And you don't need many. Sometimes I'll do the same amount that I do for like my cereal, but if you were only doing a little bit, or if you were only like 1 or 2 shells, you could literally put like 3 or 4 blueberries. But I'm going to go a little crazy today because, again, my calorie count's low. So I'm going to do like I would do my cereal, and I'm going to put like half, and you're going to see like that plate's going to be stacked. So I'm going to take half of those, and then I'm going to do strawberries. And strawberries, again, I'm going to take the smaller ones because I want them a little bit smaller, and I'm going to do half a cup of strawberries, but it's really not. And then we're going to put our fruits away, put those back in the fridge, and we're good to go there. Wash these off real quick. Nothing crazy. Good to go. One fell out. I'm not too concerned, so I'll just give it a little spray, and then I'm going to eat it. And then we're good to go. And those berries, oh, they're good already. So then what you're going to do is I'm going to take the berries first, because the berries you don't have to do anything. So we're going to take those and we're just going to push them in. That's what I do. And again, you can do this however your preference is, but you put them right there and you mix them into the fudge. And you can put them all over. So you can sort of throw them on. Sometimes I'll leave them on the side. Sometimes I push them down. Again, it's a preference of what you want. So we'll do that. I'm going to go quick, but you could see I got a whole plate of berries now, which is awesome. The other thing is sometimes if I want something to wash it down again, and again, I'm looking for protein intake, I might have some of the Fairlife milk. You know, that Fairlife milk, that's good. You put that Fairlife milk on that, and again, you're going to get a little bit more protein there. So again, strawberries, you can choose how you want to. If these are my cereal, I might dice them up. I might put them in whole. But for this, I like them cut up, at least one layer cut up like that. And again, what I'll do is I'll stick these in here. And depending on how many I'm doing, I might do one for each. And I have 4, so it's obviously a little bit different. But again, this is good fruit. You know, this natural sugar like this isn't going to really hurt you. And you can see, if I put 1 in there, that's a massive amount. And the next one I'm going to do a little bit different because I want to fill 2 up. So I'm going to cut these a little bit different. And again, this is nothing, you know. If you add up the calories in this for this fruit right here, which is going to be just as good as like any cake or anything else, you're going to be at, maybe 50 to 70. Is it 100 calories for a cup? It's somewhere around there. It's not much. So it might be, I might only have like 60 calories with the blueberries and the strawberries total. So that's awesome. And then you can see here, that's done up right there. Those are looking phenomenal. Those are going to be so good. Now, here's the catch-22. How hardcore are you going? You know, if you're watching your sugar intake, then guess what? You're probably not going to do the next step. But, you know, depending on whether you've had a lot of sugar that day or whether you had meats and they had no sugar in them, you might say, okay, I want some sugar on that. And obviously, sugar is what you got to watch out for because it makes it taste better, but it also is a double-edged sword where sugar can be addictive. So I like this. This is that Cabot whipped cream. I also use Ready Whip, but right now this is, 2 tablespoons is the serving, and it's 15 calories. So again, calorie-wise, you could do 10 of these, and you're not even at 100 calories. Again, nothing. The key here is the sugar, right? The sugar is 1 gram. So obviously you're watching your sugar. Each squirt's going to be 2, 4, 6, 8. So you got to be careful with that. But again, I'm not really watching that too much. I do certain days I want to cut back on that, so I'm just going to do 1 spray. So I'm going to do 1, 2, and those are probably big. So I might count those as 2 sprays. I might count those as 2 tablespoons. But again, the count on here is 2 tablespoons for 15 calories. So if I look and I take my tablespoon, which I didn't measure, and you can measure, and you put that up to it, it's probably a tablespoon. I might be a little bit. It might be a tablespoon and a half. But again, it's not much, and that's going to add some really good stuff to it. So that's one way you can do this. Again, if you're looking for hardcore healthy, cut out the whipped cream. If you're looking for super hardcore, maybe don't do the dessert shells. I did it in the past where I would just do the fudge and I would put, I don't know how it's pronounced. I call it fudge, but I don't know if that's right. I would use that and I would put the blueberries and strawberries right inside and I'd eat it out of a bowl. And you could do that again if you're really watching. You don't want the dessert shells because they're not the best for you because they do have some junk in them. And if you look on the packaging, you'll see what they have in them. But the other thing I love is jams. So I love this fig jam. Again, if this one I got, it's fig, sugar, and lemon juice. So again, sugar content, you got to watch out. But again, it doesn't have any preservatives in it. It's fig, sugar, lemon juice. There's really nothing horrible in here. Again, sugar is going to be off the charts. So again, it's total of 12 grams of sugar, and there's 10 added. But again, you got to splurge. Certain days you might want some of these, and I like these. And again, this is 50 calories, so you got to watch with this. But right now, I'm going to do 2 tablespoons. So I'm going to pop 1 tablespoon in the shell, and I'm just going to do that plain. I'm going to do that plain like that, and put that in there. And I love fig. Delicious. So I want every last drop of that. So I'm not wasting my tablespoon. Now, there is another way to do this where you can cut back, and if you're going hardcore, I don't know how to make fig jam yet. So that's something I'm going to work on. I also don't like my fig. I also like whipped cream. I love whipped cream. So I'm going to put whipped cream on there. And you can see now, that's a great, like this is a massive dessert. Like, and I'm going to eat the whole thing because calorie wise, it's not going to be too crazy because again, my calorie content, because I ate, and again, I had a steak, I had gorgonzola cheese with portobello mushrooms. I had a decent, lunch. I didn't eat breakfast, so I actually have the calories to do whatever I want. Now, let's say you're not watching at all. Then again, what do you add next? Hershey's syrup or some kind of chocolate. But again, this stuff you got to moderate. You got in moderation because that's not it's not the best for you. But that's another. I know off the top of my head. I know it's 45 calories. So if you want to splurge and get some chocolate or Hershey syrup, you could do that. The other thing I've done in the past, which I'm not going to do, but you could do, is if you have a grater like this, you take a Hershey Kiss. Or if you're going super healthy or whatever, you want to be dark chocolate, that's healthier. You take that and you take this grater and you coat that over this and you'll see the Hershey Kiss. And Hershey Kiss, again, everything in moderation. So if you have one, it's not that bad. And I'm going to show another recipe that I do with those with popcorn. And again, not horrible if you're not doing it every single night, but not the best either. Again, moderation. And then this is pretty much done. In one of the episodes that I'm going to show you, because it takes time, I did try to figure out, like, how do we make jam that's healthier? And when I say healthier, jam's not bad for you. It's just the sugar content. So if you do 2 tablespoons, that was, what did it say, 10 or 12? Or I don't know what it was. So you might have 20 grams of sugar in that. And I only had 2 tablespoons, which obviously, if you're eating 1 shell, no big deal. But let's say you want 3 shells, right? Then you're going to need something a little bit healthier. So what I do is in another episode, I'm going to show you how to make strawberry jam and blueberry jams. And again, I am not a chef or anything like that. So this is easy. If I can do it, anyone can do it. And I'll show you how to do that. I actually just bought them a couple days ago. That's going to be time consuming because you have to melt them down. But they taste just as good as the store-bought jams. If I were to go get like the Bon Maimon from France, the strawberry theirs or Smuckers or whatever. And again, the sugar content is a natural sugar. So it's not the added sugar that they're adding. It's natural sugar. And I'll show you a trick on that, how to make it taste even better. But we're pretty much ready to go. And again, you could see, obviously that's a little crazy. I'm going to eat this whole plate. But, comparing this to if you were eating like a massive piece of like chocolate cake, or you go out to a restaurant and you get cake, that's probably going to be a little bit crazy. Whereas this right here, again, overall, it's not, other than the high sugar content, it's not too bad. It's not too bad at all. And I have this calculated out, and I have a bunch of other different recipes I'll show over time, whether it is, all of its variations, which makes it easier for you to make. It's variations. The other thing you can do is with the fudge, what I really like too, is sometimes graham cracker. Again, graham crackers aren't the best for you, but if you had like, let's say you have 1 graham cracker might only be, 60 calories or 100 calories or something like that. You crunch that up. You mash it up with a hammer or a mallet or one of these wooden things. You mash that up, that graham cracker. You throw that in the fudge yogurt, and it is delicious. And then maybe throw some fruit in there too. And again, this is good for you. And I'll tell you what, this right here, it's like a cake. I mean, you look at that, you can't see it right now, but you put the fig jam, and that is delicious. And I never used to eat fig jam. I don't know what it is. I'm like a fig jam kick. It is so good. And the strawberry shortcakes, again, the fudge zero, it's definitely got like a taste to it that's not like, you could tell there's not fat in it, but you put that with the fruit like this right now, it is delicious. It is so good. I can't even describe it, because what happens is you have the fudge zero, which you have no fat. You're getting a ton of protein. I just got 18 grams of protein, which is pretty decent for, dessert. And then, like I said, you got the fruit mix in there to give you that little sweet taste. It is delicious. It is so good. And it's not that bad for you. Again, you could probably eat one of these every night, and you're still going to be in your calorie count, and it's going to be fine, And even if you went overboard, again, if you keep your numbers in line, it's pick and choose what you want, as long as you don't have problems with sugar. The sugar is going to do certain things to your body. And you can tell, because if you keep eating a ton of sugar, you'll get the bags. There's certain things it does to you, and you could tell. And sugar never fills you. You want more and more of it. So again, you got to be careful with these. But anything in moderation is good. Again, It's the power of prayer. If you're trying to lose weight and you want to get, or if you're not even trying to lose weight, you're trying to get healthy, pray. Prayer works. It will work. You got to put in the work also, but it works. And again, this channel is to glorify God. So click the description button. If you're not sure, you're on the fence, give it a chance. Read that prayer, that salvation prayer. I promise you, it's the best thing you'll ever do in your life. It's better than any food you can eat. It's better than anything you can think of in your mind down here that you've done. It beats it all. It beats it all. There's nothing like it. So again, God bless you. I'll see you in the next one.